hello everybody, welcome back to Drifting Dreamers 5. It's still a frozen tundra out here on Dreamers Landing, but we got a little bit of sun today, so we're trying to get a little bit of things done. I have this awesome 12-volt diesel heater with me today, and I think it's going to do wonders for us by keeping the air under the camper a little bit warmer, because I tell you what, our feet have been really cold. Why don't you check this out? I know this heater is really going to be a huge upgrade for the camper life right now. Big shout out to SILVEL. You guys are amazing. SILVEL is the name of the company that sent the heater for us to review. What? Even remote start? Now that's cool. Here's our 12-volt wire. Well, definitely less items than I thought there were going to be. The heater itself is really light. Interesting. All right, guys, let's dive into it. It says the main heater can be installed both inside and outside of vehicles, so that's pretty cool. And it does give you some exhaust pipe to be able to vent it out. However, I am going to use this heater for outside application. Yeah, this tank probably took about a gallon of diesel. She's filled up. Let's turn this battery on. You know, like our friend Raquel over at Cottonwood Ranch would say, give her some diesel. Now guys, this heater says it's about 5 to 8 kW worth of heating power. It is a 12-volt diesel heater, and it's only going to run about 40 watts off of the battery itself. So we'll see what happens there. Let's go ahead and hook the battery up to it. Alright guys, so what we did here is went ahead and connected the positive and the negative terminal in the wires over here to the terminal on the battery, to the negative and the positive. Go ahead and flip her around, see what's happening. Hit this power button. And you know what I didn't even think about? Battery might be dead. Let's go ahead and get the jump box out. Maybe we can jump this battery up or give it a trickle charge. Let's find out what's happening. All right, we got our handy dandy jump pack. We're gonna get this battery juiced up and hopefully we can turn this heater on. Alright guys, so I have come to the determination that my first battery is dead. I do not have an actual digital multimeter to be able to test this battery. I do need to get myself another one. So I went and grabbed another battery. We're going to hook this other battery up and give it a go. If this doesn't work, I'm going straight to the vehicle, guys. I'm going to drive the truck over here and fire this up. We're going to watch this heater come alive. Woo, we got power. There it is, guys. We got some power right here. All right, guys, so both of the batteries here are definitely dead. I've got it hooked over here to the truck and we are definitely rolling. We are on. Let's go ahead and figure out what's happening. All right, guys, after having this thing run for just a few minutes, sitting here hooked up to the truck, a couple of things are apparent. Number one, the instructions on the SILVEL heater is not the greatest. Or maybe I'm just not understanding the instructions on the heater that great. However, I did hook it up to the truck. We got it to fire up, and I had that heater blowing. That thing is really putting off some heat. However, a couple other things that I just noticed. When it says danger, hot exhaust, it is really some hot exhaust, guys. Look at this. I had it sitting up here on top of the truck, and the exhaust is on the bottom, and it actually melted this down here. Holy smokes. So we'll go back over here to the heater, and I will stand this up a little bit, and I'll show you where the exhaust is. I'll show you where the exhaust is. That exhaust is right there on this guy, on that top guy right there. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get the exhaust hooked up and try to get this going, guys. We are going to see if we can hook this up over to the camper and hook it to the battery there. My intentions are to have this diesel heater blow hot air up underneath the camper to try to keep our feet a little warmer and to try to defrost our water tank. All right, guys, I finally got it figured out. I got the exhaust hooked up at the bottom right here. I'm about to hook up the exhaust and this muffler part off here and get it whipped around. I think we're going to get this done before it gets dark. I'm going to go ahead and take everything over there to the camper and get it assembled. Let's try to get it done. Well, good morning, guys. Last night didn't go as planned. I actually got caught up in the dark and wasn't able to get everything assembled on camera, but I got everything rolling for you now. I'll show you what you got. So this is what I had set up last night, guys. I actually just took 2 blocks right here and picked it up off of the ground. I did get the exhaust kind of hooked up. I did hook it up to the bottom down here anyway. You can see that's hooked up to the bottom right there. So I did get the exhaust ran out and I wasn't worried about that. I did take this cover off though because there was a small issue. The small issue was that my tank actually dropped down in here. Look at it. Because of the temperatures last night, it actually started to suck up onto itself. And well, that was very interesting. It did run all night long. I think I probably got it running at about 6 o'clock last night and got it all finally ducted in. And it ran past 6 o'clock this morning. So a solid 12 plus hours on 1 gallon of diesel. That's pretty nice. And I did get it tapped into our battery right up here. I'll show you guys right around. We got the positive and the negative wires tapped in there. And I cut a hole out of the front of the foam and whoops, and ran it right up in there. I just knocked over my bowl here with my screws in it. I got this magnetic bowl from Harbor Freight and I got all my screws and put it on there. I figured right there was a good spot. I wanted to show you guys the diesel heater from SILVEL. It really did do a pretty good job last night. Like I said, I got it ducted in the front right there, and I was trying to heat up the nose of the camper. Right here, the nose of the camper is where our bed is. And since it has all the storage right here in the front, the cold air really rushes up on there, and that heater kind of just knocked that edge off a little bit. And also, it was our hopes that the heater would thaw out some of the water tanks, but I don't know if the ductwork to the heater was long enough to get up into the water tank area. We're going to give that another shot tonight, but we'll find out here in a little while. Head and open the tank back up and do my best to get it to go back to its original shape and size. I'm going to put the shell back on it and put the screws and everything back together and get this fired up. And I'll let you guys get an idea of how loud this SILVEL 12-volt diesel heater really is. Well, it didn't really go back to its original shape. Alright guys, as you can see, we got it all put back together. and it is in the on position. You can see it right here on that digital output screen, and it's gonna ramp up a little bit at a time until it gets to maximum speed. I don't know if you can hear that or not. That's the pump kicking on. It's gonna start getting to be a little bit louder. I can feel a little bit of air starting to come out. There we go. It's getting a little bit louder now. You can smell it. All right, guys. You know what I always say, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, I would like to say that I did not hook the exhaust up correctly on the first try. But, in my defense, the instructions were not very great on this. I gotta say, Civil, I gotta be honest on that part. The instructions were a little confusing, and it didn't really say which part of the exhaust to hook up first. Let me just show you guys what happened. So this is what we got, guys. Final product is what we got going on right here. Wow, look at this. So this is insane. This just happened. Wow. So at first I had this brown part of the hose of the exhaust line connected to it first because I couldn't really bend it as well. And then I went to this part, and then I went to the metal. Woo! And guys, that is hot, hot, hot. And it melted off the first end there. So then what I did is I turned it all back off. I went to the metal line to here, and then I attached this on the end of it, and it's so hot, this melted right off, guys. Melted right off. So I'm gonna be honest with you subscribers out there, and to you Civil. The exhaust on this thing, I don't know what to do about it. The instructions really are not clear. Woo! And it's hot. Obviously, it's exhaust, but I mean, all the way to the other end, we're melting off the cap piece and everything. Gotta say, I'm not thoroughly impressed by the exhaust, but I am impressed by the amount of heat that it gives off, so it's a coin toss on this one, guys. I gotta be 100% honest, I am glad this happened to me today during the daylight hours instead of last night with me hooking everything else up and then going to bed. I did leave it running last night with no exhaust hooked up. It was off the brick, so it was able just to exhaust right out from underneath. Really wasn't a big deal because there's nothing around it that can melt or get hot or catch on fire. Just rock underneath me. However, I am a little weary about that. It's almost like a cardboard paper type end on the exhaust. It melts, and that was crazy. And even that end little plastic piece that goes onto the end, it melted it right off. So the exhaust is really, really hot on that, guys. I just want you to be on the lookout. If you have any diesel heaters, or if you're thinking about getting a 12-volt diesel heater, keep an eye on that exhaust. That's definitely a big, big issue. As for us at Drifting Dreamers 5, we're gonna be keeping this diesel heater outside. But now that I got that hooked up, I don't want you to take my word for it. We're gonna ask Lyssa how she felt and see if that temperature really did a good job. Let's go ask her. Oh, and before I go inside, I'll show it to you one more time. It's fired up, 100% rolling. This is how loud it is. All right, guys. Down here, obviously the exhaust is the loudest. Woo! Ooh, foggy up there. A little fog action. You can hear the pump running a little bit, and then it's going right into there. I think I hear Lyssa now. Lyssa! Well, Lyssa, I just finished the exhaust on the Civil 12-volt diesel heater. And I gotta say, the exhaust was not impressive. It actually melted the end off.
Oh my.
But other than that, what about the heat? Would you say that you felt a significant difference last night up underneath the bed?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
On that note, we did feel a good significant difference with the heat that is helping out from underneath. And well, just make sure it's somewhere, just make sure it's mounted somewhere outside. Oh, but look at this. I think we got visitors on the landing. I know, Odin, visitors. Who is it? Who is it, doggy doggies? Oh, I've seen that white truck before. Hey! What's up, guys?
We found a drifter.
Hey!
Got down.
It's Mary, Gary, and Miley with Junk to Gym Homesteads. Let's see what our friends are up to, guys. Our friends with Junk to Gym's Homestead stayed a little while. We hung out for a good little bit, talked about future plans and building and stuff like that. But it is now the next day again, guys. Let me go ahead and show you one more time. The old SILVEL is running again. It has definitely changed the game for us as far as temperature down by our feet. And it also did one huge thing. We actually had some huge trouble with the freeze that came by, and we were frozen from Saturday all the way until Thursday. Almost a week, no water, nothing going on. But ever since we added this heater up there, it has kept all the water tanks underneath the camper nice and unfrozen. So that is a big deal. Thank you so much for that. However, I will say that overall, the SILVEL 12-volt diesel heater has performed well. The only downside to it was that the exhaust, well, for myself, I was not able to understand the instructions on how to get the exhaust taken care of properly. So maybe a little bit better instructions, maybe some tune-up with the exhaust, I don't know. But I tell you what, for $100 or so, or whatever it costs, I think it's definitely worth it. You guys can check that link in the description below. There also will be a discount code for you guys, I believe. Take it as you will, guys. You know I'm bringing it to you first-hand accounts. We're never gonna lie. We're always gonna keep it blood raw and honest for you awesome subscribers out there. I'm gonna go ahead and go for now. I'm getting ready to take Serenity over to the 41.36 and let her get a little playtime over there with their kids. Gotta love family, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. And remember, if you can dream it, you can drift it. Bye.